There's this term, and it's almost a violation of what we see when we're called to eldership in Titus and in Timothy, pastors' kids. Like, oh, don't worry about it. And I've heard of it called a PK, where they were born in a church family and raised underneath a pastor, but they're kids who fly by the seat of their pants and don't respect authority and aren't walking with God. Why is it that the men, and maybe this pendulum is switching, maybe it's something that's on its way out, but why is it that culturally, pastor's kid has this idea that the guy who's in charge of the church isn't even in charge of his own kids, leadership-wise? Is that how do we deal with that?
Well, it is tough. I mean, not only if you're a pastor's kid, but if your dad or your mom or both of the parents are involved in ministry. I mean, just to have that as a model, and there's expectations that come out of that. And so you get people all across the gamut. Some do very well. Some kids do very well when they're young. You know, they hit the teenage years. Some of them, you know, go into rebellion. Some can rebel later on. Some people are straight arrows. They shoot straight on through. I think there's a lot of things that contribute to it. I've gotten this question once in a while through the years. And one of the things I share regarding my own kids is watch who your kids' best friends are. That's going to tell you a lot right there. They can grow up in the church, they can be around the church, but if their best friends are kids from somewhere other than the church kids, and they have a totally different value system, that other value system is going to influence the way they think, the way they act, what they grew up believing. Even though they were taught certain things at home, and even though they were modeled in a great way. I mean, I know families where, I mean, the family was just a disaster, and the kids turned out wonderfully. And I know other families where they seem to have done everything right. You can't, even when we talk to the kids, find out that I just believe something different. I just don't agree with my parents. I don't believe what they believe. And there maybe isn't a natural explanation of why that is. So somewhere you have to come in with God's sovereignty. And that's a tricky issue right there. If God is really sovereign, if he picks and chooses, is it possible that some of in fact, I asked Mark Driscoll that years ago, is it possible that even some of your kids are not elect or not chosen, even though you did everything right and tried to do, you know, the biblical thing with how you raised them and so forth? So it keeps you on your knees.
Yeah,
sure.
yeah, but that's going to say that brings up who we are. I mean, that's where you start. It's we're in Christ. And I've always heard there's the realm of concern and the realm of responsibility. And unfortunately, the realm of concern holds all the results. But yeah, it's just the biggest thing is just bringing it to God and surrendering.
And it ain't over until it's over.
That's right. That's right. Yeah.